Hi guys, how are you? This coronavirus has hit the globe in a very massive way. The one thing we can do while we are staying at home is to protect us from this by eating antiviral and anti-inflammatory foods to boost our immunity. I truly believe in traditional cooking. Time and again I go for my grandmother's remedies. She's an amazing cook. For today's lunch, I'm making one of her recipes. This recipe is loaded with fresh ginger, garlic, turmeric, black peppers, and more antiviral ingredients. She used to make this whenever someone in the house falls ill with cold, flu, or viral infections. So let's get cooking. As I said earlier, this recipe includes a lot of antiviral and anti-inflammatory ingredients. I'm using 2 garlic heads. I'm just going to peel off them and cut them in half. We always need to rest the garlic for 10 minutes before we use it in our cooking. During this time, the maximum allicin is created and it stays intact during our cooking. You can then fry, saute or use it in your baking and still you can get all its medicinal values. Then I'm chopping ginger. I'm using about 3 inches of fresh ginger. One of the important lessons I learned from my mom and my grandmother while I learned cooking is that always remove the skin of the ginger before you eat it or before you cook it, because the ginger skin will give you indigestion issues. I'll show you the other ingredients that I'm going to use. I've got 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns and 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds. Then I've got 1 teaspoon of jeera or cumin seeds. And then I've got 1 teaspoon of organic turmeric powder. Usually when making curries, we won't be using about this much of turmeric powder. But during these hard times, we want to fight against any viral infections. This involves more turmeric because it is a powerful natural antibiotic. And then I've got a piece of tamarind. I'm going to heat 1 tablespoon of sesame oil in a pan. And then I'm going to put in all the garlic and saute it for a couple of minutes until it gets to kind of a light brown. You can actually press it and see to check if it has cooked. I'm going to save some of the garlic for later, maybe about 8 to 10 of them. And the rest of them we are going to grind. And then I add the ginger pieces to it. Then I'm going to add cumin seeds, coriander seeds, black peppercorns and the piece of tamarind as well. I'm going to fry all of this for a little bit. Usually in Indian curries, we soak the tamarind in water and get the pulp out and then use that pulp in cooking. But when you use the tamarind this way, you will see a huge difference in the taste. You won't have the raw smell of tamarind. Just fry this until the color of the ingredients change. And now even the peppercorns have started to pop. So now we transfer it to your plate and let this cool down. Once it cools down, we need it to blend it into your paste by adding a little bit of water. In the same pan, I'm going to add another teaspoon of sesame oil. Once the oil is hot, I'm going to put in the paste that I've made. I'm not going to waste the paste that is sticking to the mixer. I'm going to add a little bit of water and pour that as well. You can now see that the mixer is liquidy now because I've added more water. I'm going to cook it for a couple of minutes so it'll thicken a bit. You know, some people get cold and flu all the time. Some kids have runny nose throughout the year, all 365 days of the year. It is because their immunity is low. You can actually increase your immunity just by doing slight changes in your diet. This food is great for them. It will boost your immunity instantly. We are what we eat. See, food is very powerful. I believe that food is medicine. If we eat the right food at the right time, then we don't need any medicine at all in our lives. I'm now adding the turmeric powder. I'm using black rock salt. This is also called as kala namak. Now I'm adding the roasted garlic that we saved. Since we have not added any vegetables to this, the vegetables that will suit this curry is if you have drumsticks, you can add it. Or if you have even potatoes, you can add that as well. You need to boil the potatoes and cut it into chunks and add them at this stage. Once it thickens nicely, I'm going to add a small piece of jaggery to this. This is palm sugar. This gives the curry its unique taste. My kids really love that sweet and sour taste of this. Even if your kids are picky eaters, you can make them eat ginger and garlic with this curry because it also gives them the sweet taste. This much of thickness is enough for me, but if you want it to be thicker, then boil it for another couple of minutes. We are eating this curry with steamed rice. This is hand pounded rice. We do not eat polished white rice in our house because polished rice doesn't have any nutrition left in it. Hand pounded rice retains all its minerals intact. This lunch is a perfect blend of spices, sourness and sweetness. I wish you could taste it with me right now. Whenever I make this recipe, I think about my grandmother. I miss her a lot. So if you want to see more healthy recipes like this, subscribe to my channel. And as always, like this video and share it with your friends. Take care. Bye-bye.